Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. Now take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Enter the Matrix, and it's by the Bard, and as you can see from the green lines going down, this is reminiscent of how the Matrix looks when you see it from the outside. So we will be entering the matrix of the Sudoku. Let's get to the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 in each row, column, and box without repetition. I like this. This is my favorite form of the rule set for normal Sudoku because it makes it very clear. And you can go on variants with it. So for example, if you have a 3x3 box with repeats in those digits, you can just remove the without repetition, right? And it would not be normal Sudoku then, if that's the case. Anyways, let's continue. We also have German whispers, which are the green lines going down, letting us see the matrix in its full programming form, where adjacent digits on a green line must have a difference of at least 5. All German whisper lines have been given that would be vertical or horizontal. That is, id est, there is a negative constraint, but this does not apply to diagonally adjacent digits. So that means all the green lines that are possible that could go horizontally, I always have problems saying that word, or vertically are given. So that means there are no horizontal areas where you can have two digits which have a difference of at least 5. That's actually fascinating. That means they're all vertical, right? Anyways, as an example, if this were a 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9 because those digits have to be in the only digits that are 5 or more away from 3 are 8 and 9. But this could not be 8 or 9, and this could not be 8 or 9 because we don't have, remember, this is a negative constraint. All German lines that have been given, which would be vertical or horizontal, are given. And there is no German whispered line between these cells, and there's no German whispered line between these cells. So therefore, these cannot be 8 or 9 here, if this was 3. And that's how German whisper lines with a negative constraint works. We also have V pairs, where digits separated by a V sum to 5. All V's have been given also, so there's a negative constraint there. So anytime there would be two unique digits which are separated by and orthogonally connected just means, actually, did they say orthogonally connected? It doesn't. But V's can only separate digits that are orthogonally connected to each other, which means that they share an edge, right? So you cannot have a V go across these lines, essentially. But all possible cells that are two cells that add up to 5 that share an edge with each other are given. So for example, if this was a 3, this would have to be a 2, but none of these 3 cells here can be a 2 because there would have to be a V between any of those cells and this cell if these were 2. And that's how V pairs work. And then we have also consecutive pairs where digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive. However, this does not say that all white dots have been given, so there is no negative constraint for these white crop key dots. So for example, if this was a 6, this would have to be a 5 or a 7 to make sure that these digits are consecutive. And those are all the rules. Remember your negative constraints. That's very important. There's going to be a link in the description for if you want to play along. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, these are all low. So we're going to mark them as blue. This must be a high because it's on a German whisper line with a low digit, and a low digit, which is 1 through 4, has to be next to a high digit on a German whisper line, which would be 6 through 9. Why? Because the lowest of them, 1, can only be next to 6 through 9. 2 can be next to 7 through 9. 3 can be next to 8 and 9. 4 can only be next to 9. So obviously, if you have a low digit, which is 1 through 4, you would have to have a digit that's 6 through 9 next to it. What else do we have here? These do not add up to 5. So these have to be different V's here. That's interesting. Also we have, where are the 5s? 5 can never be on a German whisper line. And it can't be next to a V. Because 5, if you subtract 5 or more away from 5, you get 0 or less, which is not a normal Sudoku digit. If you add 5 or more to 5, you get 10 or more, which are not digits. So in box 6, where is the 5? Can't be next to the V, can't be on the German whisper lines, it has to be here. So this is 5. How about here? 5 has to be one of these two digits because it can't be on the German whisper line. What about, so where is the 5 in row 5? It has to be here. So this is 5. Where's the 5 in box 1? It has to be one of these 3 cells, which means 5 cannot be here in box 7, can't be here, can't be here, it must be here in box 7. Where is the 5 in box 8? Can't be on the German whisper lines, can't be next to the V, so it must be here. Where is the 5 in row 8? Can't be here. Can't be any of the German whisper lines, so it must be here. Where is the 5 in box 3? Can't be here, can't be here, can't be on the German whisper line, so this is 5, which means this can't be 5. Where is the 5 in box 2? Can't be here. Can't be on the German whisper line, so it's here. So this is 5, this can't be 5, this must be 5. This 5 eliminates 5 here, so this must be 5. So those are all the 5s. Where are the, so in column, what is it? Column 6 and column 7, we already have 2 lows. We also have 2 pairs of German whisper lines in each of those columns. One of them must be low, and one of them must be high on each of the pairs. Therefore, there's a low here, there's a low here. That makes 4 lows already accounted for in column 6 and the same in column 7. That means the other digits in column 6 and 7 are high. So this is high, and this is high. Well, since these two are high, one of these is high and one of these is low. That's 3 highs already in the middle box. If this were high and this were low, this would have to be high. That would force these in box 5 to have 5 high digits, which is not possible because there's only 4. So this must be a high here, which makes these both low next to it. So this is a low, these are lows. One of these is high, one of these is low. We have 2 lows here. One of these must be low, one of these must be low, so this must be a high then remaining because we have 4 lows already in column 4. This must be then high, which means can only be next to another high digit, right? Can't be 5. 6, 7, 8, 9 can only be consecutive with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but none of these 5 can't be on the German whisper line. So these are both high. This then is also high here. That leaves this as a low. This must be a high-low pair. If this was high, low, and high, again in box 2, you would have 5 high digits, which is not allowed. Therefore, this is high, and these are lows. We have 2 lows here. We have 1 low here. Like if this is low, high, low, we would have 5 lows in column 5, which is not allowed. So therefore, this must be low. These 2 are high. This is low. That's fine. This is low. We know we have 2 lows here and 2 highs here. So that's 3 lows in box 6. If this were high, low, then we would have 5 lows in box 6, which is not allowed. Therefore, this is high, this is low, this is low. This must be high then to be on next to it on a German whisper line. This is low, this is high. We have 4 highs accounted for already in box 9. One of these has to be high, and these 3 are high. So this must be low. Since this is low, one of these must be low, one of these must be low, and one of these must be low. That's 4 lows already accounted for in column 8. So this must be... Wait, that doesn't work, I don't think. Yeah, I messed up. My bad. Again, this can't be low, high, low, because that would be too many lows. So this is low, this is high, this is high. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, this is low, this is high, this is low. So we have 4 lows, sorry, in already accounted for in box 9, so this is high. Which makes this a low, because we already have 3 other highs in column 8. Uh, What are the unique digits that are on these lines? This has to be 7, 8, or 9 because it's next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. This is 7, 8, or 9. This is 7, 8, or 9, too. This is 1 through 4. 1 through 4. One, 2, or 3 here. Whatever this digit is must be the same set as this digit, because this is next to the 2 of the opposite digit of sets. We already have 1 each of the other sets of both sets here and here. So this must match essentially this, and this must be a separate one. I guess we'll make that pink. Okay. All V's have been given. All German whisper lines that would have been vertical, horizontal have been given. This cannot be 4 and 6 here. So one of 4 or 6 has to be here. The other one has to be here, right? So this is 4 or 6 with 1 or 9. If this were to be a 1, any high digit would have to have a vertical German whisper line next to it. because all of those have been given. Therefore, this can't be 1, which means this can't be 6. This could be 9 because any 6 or 9 works here. So this can never be 9. Well, it could be 9 if that's 6, right? So either this is 6 and this is 1, or this is 6 and this is 1, right? There's no other place for the 6 in column 9. So this can never be 1. This can never be 1. Either this is 4 and this is 9, or this is a 4-9 pair here. So this could be 4 and 9, but this can never be 9. So this could be 6, 7, or 8 here. This is 1 through 4 here. So whatever this set is, it has to be obviously different from that set. But if one of them is a 9, so say this is 4, 9, and one, or say it's 1, 6. The problem is the 1 could not be next to a set that's opposite it. So this would have to be the same set. Same with the 9. The 9 could not be next to, horizontally next to a set which is the opposite of it, because it would force it to have a German whisper line on it if it were the case. So these two are the same set. These two are the same set. Oh, this can't be 1. If this were 1, this would be next to a high, and that's not allowed. Because then this would be a German whisper line. So this can't be 1 either. So 1 could be, if 1 is here, this is a low then also. Hmm. So 1 has to be either here or one of these two digits. If this were 1, that would fail, because these two would have to have a German whisper line connecting them. So 1 can only be one of these two digits here. Which means this can never be 1. This can never be 4. This can never be 9, because it would be next to a low digit without a German whisper line on it. Or without a German whisper line between them, I should say. This could be 2, 3, or 4 here. Hmm. 4 has to be, okay, this is in between, well, we don't know. But 4 has to be one of these low digits on these German whisper lines. Therefore, the 9 has to be correspondingly next to one of them, too. So this can never be 9. This is 6, 7, or 8. What about here? Same here. 4 and 6. Well, we have the whole column is already taken into account. This is not though. 9 has to be one of these cells. 1 cannot be any of these cells because it's next to it would be next to a high digit in either of these cells. So 1 cannot be here. 1 cannot be here. So 1 is one of these 3. Possibly. 1 cannot be here next to, because it would be next to multiple German whisper high digits next to a German whisper, and with no German whisper line next to it. So 1 could be, this can't be 1 either because it's next to a high digit here. So this could be 1, this could be 1, this could be 1. So 1 cannot be either of these cells, right? If this is 1, it would be next to 2 high digits without a German whisper line connecting them. If this is 1, it'd be next to a high digit without a German whisper line connecting them. This cannot be 1 either. 1 could be either of these two. Cannot be here, but it could potentially be here. But this can't... Okay, where is the 6 in column 5? Cannot be here. So 1 has to be next to the 6 in column 5 somewhere. This cannot be 1 then, because we need a 1 to be next to the 6. This can't be 6 or 1, because if this were 6, this would have to be 1, and this would have to connect to a German whisper line because the 1 is more than 5 or more away from 7 or 8. If this is 6, this would be 1. And again, you would have the same problem. So neither of these can be 6. Therefore, 6 has to be one of these two, and this must be a 1. That's actually very interesting. Where's the 1 in row 9 then? It has to be here, because it cannot be here, it can't be here. This is 1 with a 6. This cannot be 9, because in this column, we need a 9 to be with the 4. We should be able to do similar things with 9s, but we just don't have the 9s as available here. In column 4, 9 has to be here, here, or one of these two. Actually, cannot. Okay. Since this is 1, okay, that tells us a lot. These cannot both, neither of these could be high, because there would be a German whisper line connecting those with a 1 if that were the case. Therefore, these are both low. This must be high. This is high. We have 4 high digits in row 9, which means the rest of the row must be low. So these are all low, which forces both of these to be high. What else do we have? These are the same set. So whatever these set is, this has to be a different set. I don't know which ones those are, because we have One of each in this set, one of each in this set. These are the same set. They're either both low or they're both high. These are both low. One of these is a 9. So both of them could be 9. Huh. Uh, this is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. I'm not sure what. 9 cannot be here. In box. Well, this could be 9 too. In column 5, this could be 9, this could be 9. This cannot be 9 because it would be next to 2 lows. 9 cannot be either of these. So 9 is either here or here. This cannot be 9 in column 6 because that would be next to a low, and there's no German whisper line between them. Therefore, one of these 3 is a 9. So this cannot be 9 here. This cannot be 9 here. This is 1 or 4, which forces this to be 6 or 9. The yellows are both high. Therefore, these are both low. Either of these could be 9. That's fine. And this could be 9. 9 cannot be here. 9 could be any of these 4. 9 cannot be either of these. 9 can't be here either, because the 9 has to be next to the 4 in this column, and the 4 can only be here or here. So 9 can't be here. 9 cannot be either of these, because it would be next to a low digit, and there's no German whisper line between those. So 9 has to be one of these 2, which means this cannot be 9. So 9 is one of these 2, which means it must be with a low. We don't know which, though. 9 again could be any of these 4. 9 cannot be either of these 2. Because if it were, it would be next to a low digit, and there would need to be a German whisper line on those. So 9 has to be one of these 3 digits here. But this can't, well, this could be 9. So where's a 9 in row 1? It has to be one of these 3 cells. So this is 6, 7, or 8 here. Okay, where's the 9 in row 6? It has to be one of these 3, because none of these can be 9, none of these can be 9. Four cannot be either of these cells, because we have all of these already accounted for. Where is the 4 then in box 8? It has to be here. So this is 4, which makes this a 1. This obviously can't be 4 anymore. This can't be 1. These cannot be 1. Where is the 1 in column 4? Can't be here anymore. Can't be here. It must be here. So this is 1, which means this can't be 1 here. This cannot be a high digit because it's next to a 1. Therefore, it must be low. because if it were high, it would have to have a German whisper line next to it. This cannot be a high digit because it would have to have a German whisper line drawn between them. Therefore, this is a low. Is 2, 3, or 4. This must be a high. The remaining digits in row 6 are all highs, which forces this to be low. This must be high then. Therefore, we have 2 highs here. We have 3 highs here. That be the 4th one. So these are all lows. We have 4 lows in row 3, which eliminates lows in the rest of the row. So the pinks must be highs. The greens must be lows. Okay. None of these can be 4 because they're next to a 1 and there's no V in between them. So 4 has to be one of these. Oh, yeah, this can't be 1 because this would have to have a V between them. This can't be 4. We have a 2, 3, 2, 3 pair, which eliminates 2 and 3 in the rest of box 9. So this can't be 2 or 3. This makes this 4, then 9. This can't be 9, so this is 6, which makes this a 1. This can no longer be 1. Where is the 1 possible in box 6? It can only be here. Can't be here because it would be next to a high digit. Can't be any of these because they would be next to high digits. So this has to be 1, and this is then low and low. We have 4 lows in row 5, which eliminates low in the rest of the rows. So this is high, which makes this a low. These are both highs. This can't be 6 anymore. We have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair, which this digit has to be next to both of. 3 cannot be next to 7 on a German whisper line, so this is 2, this is 3, which forces this to be 8 and 7. This 3 eliminates 3 here, so this is 2 and 3. Neither of these can be 3. This can't be 4 because it would be next to a 1, and there must be a V next to it. So this is 2, this is 4. The 4 must be next to 9 on a German whisper line, so this is 9. This can no longer be 9 here, and this can't be 9 here. Where's the 9 in box 8? It has to be here. This is 9, which eliminates 9 here. This can't be 9. Therefore, this must be 9 here, and 4 has to be one of these 2 digits, but it cannot be next to the 1. This can't be 1 either. We have a problem. Where's the 1 here? 1 has to be next to, would have to be next to 2 high digits if these were both 1. That's not allowed. Oh boy. Is my logic correct here? I think it almost certainly has to be. But then the problem is this is high and high then. Shoot. That's bad. This is, oh, this would have to be a 1 also, with this as being a 1. Yeah, something in my logic is not quite right, I don't think. Let me restart. I don't know where I messed up my logic. So let's try to figure that out. 5s are all still the same. This can't be 5. These are all lows. This is a high. This is a 5. Where's the 5 in row 5? It has to be here. 5 in column 5 has to be here. In column in box 8 has to be here. This can't be 5. This can't be 5. In box 9, it's here. In box 7, it has to be here. Box column 6, it has to be here, which means box 3, it has to be here, which means box 1 has to be there. Again, this is two lows here. This has to be low here. So this is high, high, low, high, and low. We have 4 lows here. This must be high and high. 1 cannot be here because there would be a German whisper line here horizontally. We have to have a 4 and a 6 somewhere here. 6 can only be one of these 3 cells, which means 1 has to be next to it on the German whisper line. So 1 could be here or 1 could be here. 4 can only be here in one of these two. So 9 can only be here or here. This has to be, again, a 1, 4, 6, 9 triplet. If this is 1, it would have to have a German whisper line connecting it. So that's not allowed. So this can't be 1, which means this can't be 6. We have 1, 4, and 9 possible here. This is low. If this were, again, were low and low, that would be 5 lows in this box. So this must be low here, which makes this high. Therefore, this is high. This cannot be 1 because there would then be a German whisper line there. So this is 2, 3, or 4, which makes this 1, 2, or 3. This cannot be 9 because, again, if this were 9, it would be, there would have to be a German whisper 9 connecting these. So this is 6, 7, or 8. Because this is 2 highs and 1 low, one of these is low, we need 2 lows in the rest of column 5, so therefore these both must be low, and this must be high. These are 2 lows here. 1 low is here, 1 low is here, therefore this must be high. Since this is high, we have 2 highs here, this is a third high. We cannot have 2 more highs, therefore this is high and these are lows. Therefore, we have 2 lows here. One of these is low, one of these is low. That's 4 lows in column 6, which makes this high. Therefore, this is high to be consecutive with a high digit, and this must be high because it cannot be 5 then. So these are all highs, which makes this a low. Okay. Again, where can 1 be in box 9? Cannot be here because that would be next to 2 high digits and without a German whisper line between them. Can't be here. Same reasoning. This would be a high digit next to a German whisper line. So it must be one of these 3. Can't be here. It has to be one of these 2. Where can the 1 be in box 8? Cannot be here because, again, it would be next to 2 German whisper lines. Sorry, it'd be next to a high without a German whisper line in between. Can't be here, so it must be one of these 3. So that's fine, which means 1 has to be one of those 3. Where can 1 be here? 1 cannot be here because, again, there's no German whisper line between these two. 1 cannot be here either, and 1 can't be here. So 1 could be any of these three. 1 cannot be here. Same reasoning. 1 could be any of these three, but cannot be here because if that were 1, that would be next to a high digit without a German whisper line in between. This can't be 1 here. That can't be 1 here. So in either of these three can be 1. But in column 5, there has to be a 6 next to some other digit on a German whisper line, which could only be 1. And this can't be 6, so this can't be 1 specifically. 6 cannot be here either, because it would be next to a 1, but this can't be next to 1 because it's next to a high digit without a German whisper line. Same here. So 6 can't be here. 6 has to be one of these two. Then in column 5, again, if it can't be here because that's 2 unique digits that it's not next to. Can't be here because then the 1 would have to be here, but then if this was 1, it's next to 2 high digits without a German whisper line. Same here. If this is 1, it's next to a high digit without a German whisper line connecting them. Therefore, this always is 1. This can't be 1 here. These cannot be highs, because if they were high, there would have to be German whisper lines connecting them to it. So this is not high. This is low. This is low. We have 4 lows. This must be high then, which makes this high. This can no longer be 1 because it has a high digit next to it without a German whisper line connecting it. 4 cannot be either of these because the V's are already all given and there's no V connecting these. So this is 2, 3, 2, 3, which forces this to be 4. This is 1. This can't be 1 here. This can't be 1 here, which forces this to be 1 here. This can't be 1 here. This can't be 1 because it's next to a German whisper line. I'm sorry, not no. It's next to 4, and there's no V that's in between them. So this is 1, which means this can't be 1. This is 1, which forces this to be 6. But then this has to be 4 and 9, and we have a contradiction here. Oh. Oh. It has to be this way. Right, it could be 4, 9 here and 1, 6 here. And it actually has to be that way. So we are not guaranteed the 4 or the 9 has to be here. And we've just proven that that's the case. Therefore, this is 2 and 3. This is 7 or 8 here. This is 2 and 3. This is 2 and 3. So 7 and 8 has to be here with 2 and 3. That's where we... Okay, so that was the bad assumption here. That's bad. Okay, anyways, this could be 6, 7, or 8. This is a high. This is a low. We have 4 lows here, which means these are both high, which forces this to be a low. We have the remaining digits in row 8 are all high, so these are all low. So this is still valid. This has to be a 4. It's the only remaining digit left, which means it's next to a 9 on a German whisper line. This has to be high, and this cannot be a low because there's no German whisper line there. So this is high. And the 1, again, cannot be next to a high because there's no German whisper line between. So this is low, which makes this high, which makes this low. This low makes this a high. This can't be low, or sorry, this can't be high because it's next to a 1. So this is low, which forces that to be high. This is a 1, 2, 3 triplet. 6 is one of these. 9 cannot be here. 9 could be either. No, 9 cannot be here because if 9 were here, the 4 doesn't have a 9 to be next to, right? In the column. So 9 can't be here. 9 has to be here for the same reasoning. This is 6, 7, or 8 here. This cannot be 2 or 3, and it cannot contain a 1. Therefore, this must be a 4, 9 pair. If this were 9, it would be next to a low, actually 2 lows without a German whisper line next to it. So this can't be 9. So this is 4, which makes that low. Therefore, this is a high, and this is 9. This must contain a low, and one of these must be 1. The remaining digit here is a high because we have already 4 lows accounted for. Since this is high and there's no German whisper line connected to it, this cannot be a 1. Therefore, this is a 1 and is a low, which must connect to a high here. This must be low also, and this must be low because they cannot connect to, they cannot have a high here because there's no German whisper line connected to that with the negative constraint. So these are both highs, which forces both of these to be low. This is a high, this is a low. We have 3 highs here, 1 more high here, which forces this to be low. These 2 digits have to be low because those are the only remaining digits left in box 1. Therefore, we have 4 lows in row 3, so the rest of the digits are all high, which forces both of these to be low. This must be high because of this low digit. We have 4 highs in row 4, so this must be low, which forces this to be high. Okay, so this cannot be 2 and 3. This is 7 or 8. This can't be 7 or 8. This is 2 and 3. Four cannot be here. Actually, 4 has to be one of these 2 digits. Okay, that's fine. This can't be 4. Where's the 4 in column 5? Can't be here, can't be here. It must be here. So this is 4, which makes that 9. This is 2 or 3. This is 2 or 3. This, well, where's the 4 in row 6? It has to be here. So this is 4, which makes that a 9. It's next to 2 and 3 then. This is 7 or 8. This could be 6, 7, or 8 here. This is 2 or 3. This cannot be 6, so this is 7 or 8. Where is the 6 in column 6? Can't be here because of this 6. Can't be here because it's next to 2 or 3. So this must be 6 here. So this is 6. This is 7 or 8. This is 7 or 8. That's next to 2 or 3. 4 cannot be here. Where's the 4 in box 3? It has to be here, which forces this to be 9. 4's here, so 4 has to be, cannot be here, cannot be here, it must be here. So this is 4. 4 can't be here or here. So 4 is one of these 2. And this can't be 4 because of that 4 here, so this is a 4. That's all the 4's. Where is the 6 in column 8? It must be one of these 2 cells, which means this cannot be a 6. Where is the 6 in column 7? Could be any of these 2. 1 has to be one of these 2 digits here. This is 6, 7, or 8. It's next to 6, 7, or 8 here. This could be 6 through 9. We have 1, 2, or 3 here. This is 1, 2, or 3 also. This is 2 or 3. This is 7 or 8 because it cannot be 6. This is 6, 7, or 8. This is 6, 7, or 8. 6, 7, 8, or 9 here. This is 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, this can't be 1. It's 2 or 3. So this has to be not 6. This can't be 6. This is 7 or 8. And this could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. But this can't be... This can't be 9 here or here because of the 9 in the column. This is 2 or 3. Okay, so we have 6 through 9, 6 through 9, but this can't be 9 here. We have all the highs and lows accounted for. So now let's color various things so that we can figure out where they're related to. So this will make blue. This will be the red pair. The blue has to be with the blue. This is red, then has to be with the red. This is blue. This is blue also, which makes this red. This is then blue, which makes this red, which makes that blue, which makes this red. So this is red. This has to be the red following. So this is blue. This is the red that corresponds. This is also the red that corresponds, which means this is the red that corresponds. This can't be red. This must be blue. 7 or 8. This has to be blue 7 or 8. Sorry, blue 2 or 3. This is blue 2 or 3, which makes this red. This red and this blue both see this, so this cannot be 2 or 3. This is 1, because it sees both types. Therefore, this is the red 2 or 3 here, which means the red 2 or 3 has to be here. So this is red, which means this can't be 1. This can't be 6. So 6 is one of these two, which means this can't be 6 and this can't be 6. One of these two must be a 6 in column. And this can't be 2 or 3, so this is 1. This cannot be 1 here. This can't be 1 here, so this must be 1 here. This must be the blue 2 or 3. This is also the blue 2 or 3. 6 has to be one of these two. Okay. Okay, we have a 7, 8, 9 triplet, which eliminates 7, 8, and 9 in the rest of the box. So this must be 6. This can't be 6. 7 or 8 could be with 6, 7, or 8. That's fine. This has to be, one of these is the blue one. We're not sure which. Red has to be one of these 3. One of these is the blue 7 or 8. One of these is the blue 7 or 8. So this cannot be the blue 7 or 8. This is the red 7 or 8. So one of these is the blue 7. So one of these has to be the red 7 or 8 here. We're not sure which. Okay, this cannot be the blue 7 or 8, so this must be the red 7 or 8 here. So the blue 7 or 8 has to be one of these two. And if the blue 7 or 8 were here, the problem is this would be 7. If this were 7, this would be 8, and there's no digit that can be consecutive with both 7 and 8. If this is 8, this is 7, and then this would have to be similarly a digit which is net consecutive with both 7 and 8, which is not possible. Therefore, this has to be the blue one. This then cannot be blue. This can't be blue, so this is 9. This can't be 7 or 8, so this is 6. This can't be 6. This is the blue one. and this blue one's consecutive with 6. So this is 6. The blue has to be, the blue 7 or 8 has to be 7, which means the blue 2 and 3 have to be 3. The red 2 or 3 has to be 2, obviously. And the red 7 or 8, we don't know. Okay, so let's move that color. We'll move that color. The red 7 or 8 has to be 7, or sorry, 8. So this is 8. This is 6 and 7 here. These can't be 8. Whoops. How did I miss this? Okay, this is 7. That's the reason why that's all funky. So this is 3. No, it can't be 3. This is 2. 2 goes with 7 here in this case. Normally, I'm usually adding 2, like 2 and 8 together and 3 and 7. But 2 must be next to 7. That's the reason for that. Right. Which means we can remove that. Let's get the low digits. These are 3. And 3 has to be next to 8 on a German whisper line. So we can remove the coloring. All of these are 8. Right. This can't be 6 or 8, so this forces this to be 7. This is 6. This can't be 7, so this is 8, which forces this to be 9. This is 8, which must be consecutive with 7, which makes this a 6, which makes that 7. Therefore, this is 6. This can't be 6 or 8, so this is 7, and this is 6. I don't even see the code anymore. Wake up, Neo. Knock, knock. That was pretty bad for me. Pretty interesting rule set, actually. If you don't make the same mistakes that I did, I think it would be rather... Well, it would be easier. Would it be considered easy? I'm not completely sure. But I did not do well in this foray through the Matrix. I would have been... Well, I was not Neo, definitely. Very interesting rule set, actually. The negative constraints were very interesting. Yeah, I just messed this one up. And then I messed it kind of up again because I had 2 and 8 being next to each other instead of 2 and 7. And then 3 and 8. But sometimes you'll mess up. You just have to keep going and get back on the, solving puzzle. Because that will help you get through the Matrix. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, even with my bumbling through. I was more like Mr... What is it? I don't remember. Mr. Jones? Mr. Smith? No, it's Agent Smith. I forget what the Neo before he became Neo was. That's more what I was like, unfortunately. I was not Neo in this Matrix. But as I said, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.